Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm not sure, but it's possible BMW saw my video announcing they plan to go bankrupt by 2030. Now why did I say BMW would go bankrupt by 2030? Well, BMW plans to only sell 50% of their fleet as electric vehicles in 2030. Now, as all of you who are watching this channel know, by 2025, electric vehicles will already be cheaper than ICE-powered vehicles. You're not sure what ICE is? Internal combustion engine vehicles, meaning gas vehicles, petrol, diesel, etc. The hydrogen pipe dream isn't happening either. So BMW has wasted billions of dollars on that as well. And they're still not fully letting go of that dream either. So the reason I said BMW would go bankrupt is because their market will dramatically shrink within a very short period of time. Now, in addition to the fact that 50% of the cars they're manufacturing won't be cars that people will want to buy, would you realistically want to buy a Nokia 4130, whatever they were called, when you can have an iPhone 5 or the similar Samsung or whatever smartphone you want? Would you really purchase that Nokia phone for more money than the new smartphone? No, you'd have to have rocks in your head. Sure, a very small percentage of people do have rocks in their head and will make stupid purchasing decisions, but that's a very small percentage. It wouldn't make up any more than 2% of the buyers of BMW's cars. Therefore, BMW won't be able to sell an astronomical amount of their vehicles. And remember, vehicle margins in the automotive industry are very low. Margins for BMW are around about 11-12%. So 50% of their entire fleet is unsellable, or at least 48%. Factoring in the 2% of idiots who are going to buy those petrol and diesel vehicles, then that leaves BMW as a completely unprofitable company. Now, factor in this as well. There is enormous amounts of competition coming. Yep, the Chinese, I'm telling you now, are going to do what the Japanese did back in the 1970s, and are going to take a significant slice of the market. Will they take all of the market? Absolutely not. Will they take a significant slice? Yes, if you deny this, you just don't know what's going on. You simply don't understand what is happening in China. You simply don't understand the Chinese price advantage, and you simply don't understand the fact that if you compare the software capacity of a new Neo vehicle to that in a BMW, you'll realize Neo is already ahead of BMW, and they are a small startup business. They are going to do big things along with XPeng, along with BYD, along with potentially other companies like Geely, Aura, Great Wall. These companies are going to sell you a vehicle with very small differentiation between that vehicle and a BMW. Will you be willing to pay an additional 40%, 50% premium to buy your BMW? I would suggest less and less people will. Now, add in the fact that ride sharing, autonomous ride sharing, so in other words, robotic taxis, will be commonplace by 2030. Now, if you're following the autonomous driving industry, it is very clear that 9 years from now that there won't be many taxi drivers around anymore. Is BMW making autonomous vehicles? Well, they're half-assing it. So no, they're not really in the race. In other words, BMW are going to miss that slice of the market as well. Total number of car sales worldwide will continue to decline as a result of autonomous vehicles. Total number of car sales will continue to decline. We reached peak car in 2018. And will only see a decline in the number of car sales, meaning BMW's percentage of the total market will shrink for a number of reasons. For those three reasons I just outlined. Now, am I wrong about BMW? Now, Steve Hanley, who I respect as a journalist, writes for Clean Technica, and he says that BMW still plans to be in business in 2040, and that is good news. Now, what is his justification for claiming that BMW still plans to be in business by 2040? Well, of course, BMW wants to be in business, but wanting to and planning to are two entirely different things. Now, is BMW planning through smart planning to be in business in 2040? Let's have a look at it. Well, Steve says that BMW plans to be in business by 2040 because, well, two reasons. He gives two reasons. The first of that is that they've just upped their battery orders from 12 billion euros to 20 billion euros. BMW announced this recently. They'd upped their battery supply orders from 12 billion euros to 20 billion euros. They get batteries from 4 different companies. or at least they will be getting batteries from 4 different companies once those supply contracts are fulfilled. So those suppliers are CATL, the world's largest battery manufacturer, who I believe will be by far the world's largest battery manufacturer in 2030, Eve Energy, SK Innovation, and Northvolt. Northvolt was started by a former Tesla employee, and they are based in Europe. So they're one of the few big companies in the world, well, they're not that big yet, but one of the few battery companies in the world that are serious players that are not in China or Korea. So what can we read into BMW increasing their battery supply orders from 12 billion euros to 20 billion euros? Well, BMW very intentionally did not give any details about this. It's all future. It's not within a certain time frame. They didn't say we're going to supply, we're going to purchase 20 billion euros of batteries before 2025, before 2027, before 2030, before 2032. These are just contracts. We don't know. They haven't given us any information about the dates of these contracts, when they'll be supplied, anything like that. So, is that indicative of BMW being in business by 2040? I would say no, because BMW has intentionally been vague on this issue. If there was good news, if there was real legitimate good news to share, I think they would have told us, we've got a supply contract for 20 billion euros worth of batteries before 2025. And then the market would say, well, that's great news. Share price would go up, right? But clearly, the news is not what I just said. It's not as positive as what I just said. So BMW has intentionally not released that news. Now, the second reason that Steve says that BMW plans to not go bankrupt by 2040, or hopes not to by 2040, is that BMW's CEO, Oliver Zipse, told the press this week that battery cells will power the i4, the iX SUV, and other electric models coming from BMW by 2024, such as an electric 5 Series sedan and an electric version of the X1. We are following the market, he said. The first half of the year showed that we are growing and gaining market share. We are in the middle of electrification. According to Zipse, BMW plans to start switching to a new generation of batteries next year, although there are no technical details about those next generation cells. Now, Electriv reports that Eve Energy is a Chinese company that specializes in the development and production of lithium iron phosphate battery cells. The battery cells that are manufactured by the world's largest battery manufacturer, CATL, and by the world's fourth largest, BYD. Now, interestingly, Elon Musk recently said that he believes lithium iron phosphate battery cells are the future of batteries worldwide. He didn't say that about supercapacitors. So for those of you fantasizing about all the magical things that Toyota and Volkswagen are going to do with supercapacitors, yeah, I don't think that's the future either. I agree with Elon. Lithium iron phosphate batteries are the future of the car. Now, there was kind of a third part to the article, and this was discussion around the BMW circular concept. And the BMW circular concept was released at the Munich Motor Show this week. BMW unwrapped its circular concept, a peek into what the company thinks cars of the future might look like. Now, there's basically no details, except that the car is intended for production in 2040, 19 years away from now, and it's designed to be 100% recyclable. That's a good thing, sure. But 19 years away, was this a good use of money to design a vehicle that won't be built for 19 years? And when we have no idea what cars in 2040 will look like, what the demand will be for them, we have nobody knows what the future in 2040 will look like. I think this was just another example of BMW wasting money, as they have done on numerous projects over the previous 10 years. Now, that said, a lot of people are saying this is ugly, but I actually like this car because I think function follows form, form should follow function, and the shape of this car is exceptionally practical. There's no real bonnet. Now, this to me is how vehicles should be. The bonnet should be as short as possible, or there should be no bonnet because there's no longer a need for one. There's no longer an engine to go in the engine bay. This is what I like about Tesla's Cybertruck. Anyway, moving on. BMW. Now, let's be frank and honest here. BMW is a holdout among the German automakers in terms of fully electric vehicles. Now, even as recently as March, CEO Oliver Zipse said that gas engines, petrol engines, diesel engines, Their development will continue and that demand for internal combustion will remain robust for many years to come, and most of BMW's top-selling models will have plug-in versions including the X3, X5, 3 Series, 5 Series and 7 Series by 2030. But most importantly, BMW say, by 2030, only half of its global car sales will be battery electric. That plan hasn't changed. Therefore, BMW is doomed. It's too late. They've missed the opportunity. They needed to make the decision now within the last 12 months to avoid the situation of having an orphaned business where cars are sitting in parking lots without owners who want to buy them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.